weekend last weekend. Do you feel like you kind of got a little mojo back? Last few weekends of the regular season, maybe not what you're hoping, but to beat Tech the way you did, do you feel like you kind of got a little bit more rhythm back?
Yeah, I thought we played some good hockey. I thought we played good hockey most of the year. Often, sometimes the results, as we all know, down the stretch, like you said, we lost a game to Lake State, the one in overtime in Bemidji, right, and the U.S. team in the exhibition and that. So everyone, kind of gets all antsy on those weekends. But yeah, I like the way we play. But it's a matter of even this week is our preparation has to still be, in a sense of not erring on the side of being too confident. Off it, like we got a great team here that we're going to play and on the road, and they've jumped us in the standings, and they've won quite a bit the second half of the year and really created separation. So for our guys, it's a balance of feeling good and confident, but not getting on that far side of being too arrogant, about it. So, but definitely much better this time of year getting to play than not.
I think you touched up on it Saturday, but as far as the CCHA, switching to single elimination now, obviously it's like almost like a play like there's no tomorrow mentality. Yeah. How are you guys kind of approaching that mindset, since it's obviously different from all season? Now it's like this is it for each game.
Yeah, it's a great question, because I don't know how many of our guys have been in this situation. Would you know? I don't even know. Like, how many have gotten to that single game elimination? And it's tough. Like it's. I think back, if I didn't have the opportunity, to coach the World Junior team, I would never be in it either. So I wouldn't know how to. But when you have a quarter semifinal, and when you win in overtime in the quarters, it's pretty nerve-wracking, let me tell you. But really, at the end of the day, for me, it's all about, just understanding that. Sure, it's a 60-minute game, and yeah, for what it's worth, everything's on the line. The season's on the line for both teams. It's, every game moving forward is a game 7. Often, and you got to be able to execute on we call it on-demand performance. So our execution has to be very good. Our tracking has to be good. Our puck management, everything has to be good this time of year. And if it's not, you lose. You see it in the basketball, for the brackets. Every year, if it was going to ever have a perfect bracket, it'd probably be 1 through 8 winning, 1 through 4, and then all the way down. But it's not, right? So you have to play the game still. But it's nice. You hope you build pressure situations throughout the year that you can fall back on, throughout the game. Because there's going to be times in the game that it's not going to go our way, and we're going to have to be able to find our way and dig ourselves out of that.
Obviously, St. Thomas Center is on quite a roll, 7 straight wins. Mm-hmm. Their last loss was to you guys a month ago. What stands out the most about them, especially during this win streak that they've had?
Lots of speed. Their scoring, their top line's very good. Special teams. We're gonna have to really play to our identity. If we try to play the way they play, we're probably not going to be successful. We're going to have to manage pucks. We're going to have to sustain a good forecheck. We're going to have to cycle pucks, play a big, heavy game net front off that, and then from there, that just gives you a chance, maybe, But either way, I like where our team's at. I liked our games we played against them. We had the big goal by Jack Blake there in the shootout back in the fall time off it, and when we lost there as well. But it's kind of nice that we're going to a venue that we've played at. We're going to a venue that, whether or not it was in a shootout, we've had success in. So it allows us to kind of relate. And unlike the unknown, if you had to play for us, like say in Augustana or Michigan Tech this year, I know the players have played in Michigan Tech, but for me, I wouldn't know that rink. I'd have an uneasiness in terms of the unknown. But for us having to play there already, I think it kind of bodes well for us to know the rink, the surroundings, what to expect when we get there.
Obviously, you guys have done well at home this season, but respectable on the road as well. I think 8-1 overall record. How do you guys just take just that energy on the road and be able to excel when obviously you don't really have the home fans there? How do you guys really take that good play on the road?
Well, I always tell our players it's a faceless opponent, and it should be to some extent, a faceless crowd because you're playing in this 200 by 85 or whatever rink, and whether we have 5 fans or 5,000 fans here like at Slater Family Arena, we have to bring our own energy and our own excitement. And in this time of year, if you have to motivate a team to play, we're probably not winning. If anything, you got to pull them back a little bit. Because they're so far on the edge of excitement. So for us, we're like, we know we'll have some fans out there. Obviously, we love playing here. Like, that would have been great, often. But we know we have a good club. We're confident in our club. We know, again, going to St. Thomas, they're going to have a great crowd out there and be wearing a lot of purple and cheering for them. But at the end of the day, we just need to focus on what we can focus on, and our own energy in the game is something that we can bring, So it should be fun. It's a great time of year. So.
Two kind of, hot goaltenders coming into this from St. Thomas and Christian as well. What can we kind of expect, from you guys?
On scoring or defending?
Scoring, defending, kind of overall.
Well, I'd like to score more than we give up, definitely. You got to get to the net. You got to pay the price. If you're not going to live in the blue paint, we always tell our guys, offensively or defensively, you're not going to be successful. If you look at how majority of the goals are scored, they're all around the blue paint. Look at all the goals this weekend. You look at Tech's goal, right in the blue paint. Kind of say what you want, bit of a fluke, but you got to go to the tough areas, right? You look at all our goals being scored, we're all around rebounds, blue paint goals, and there's no recipe for success in playoff hockey. The old ways of seeing a number 1 or number 2 top 10 goal in playoffs is really, really hard to get. So we got to defend hard in our blue paint. We got to really have early box outs. We got to be able to let Christian see the puck, and then we got to make sure that we're there to clear out any rebounds, off it. And offensively, we want to do the reverse. We want to be over top of their player. We want to win body position. We want to be loose and elusive in net front so that we can spin off guys and track second and third opportunities.
I'd say maybe, looking at the tape now, a couple days from like the weekend, anything that you definitely saw that you were happy with that maybe you didn't see in the moment, that you were happy with senior team in this situation, in the playoffs, even in overtime?
Yeah. You know what? It was just the resiliency of not to bend and not break. Yeah. I think you get that, and it's tough. It's tough to win a best of 3. It's not easy, and I heard a lot about it on Sunday when we were out and meeting with people and talking how excited they were, and I kind of forget about how difficult best of 3 series are. So for me, I was just proud of like I said, the resiliency we talk about all the time. We talk about being resilient for 60 plus minutes. It's branded on all our shirts. R60 plus. R60 plus is everywhere. R60 plus is in our locker room. It's in every room you see. And it's fitting that on Friday's game, it means being resilient for 60 plus minutes. We bend, we don't break. And we had to go 60 plus minutes on Friday, and that's what guys were rallying around in between. Hey, our 60 plus, here we go. Like, we're good. We're here, we're trained, we're in good shape, we're strong, we're confident, and we've had a lot of overtime games this year, so it's probably fitting that we have our 60 plus on our shirts and workout gear and whatnot. But I think it gives you something to really rally around, that, from a mental standpoint, that, yeah, we're not tired. We're not physically beat up yet. Like, we can still go, and obviously it worked out on Friday. I don't know if that had any contribution to it, but it was something that we can definitely identify with.
Being that you guys have played so many overtime games this season, do you think that's going to help you down the stretch here as we do get into those single elimination games?
Well, this one's different because it's 5-on-5 compared to the 3-on-3s, But we did win the 5-on-5 on the Friday night. But you know what? Overtime hockey, it's kind of a chess match. It just, you're waiting almost for, you go out, like, you have 2 different mindsets. You fail forward, you just go and play, or you kind of wait for a turnover. Like, you see that in the 3-on-3s even more. Some teams just kind of wait, go down, miss the net, 2-on-1 the other way, game over. You don't even touch the puck, And 5-on-5, to me, it's about let's get right back and reset, and again, if we're gonna win or lose a game, we want to do it on our terms, and not have to play a chase or follow the puck around. So, but yeah, it's amazing how many overtime games we've had this year, and you think back to them about, it all equals out because there's points you've given up and there's points that you probably stole, So at the end of the day, to me, it's all relevant, throughout it. But yeah, overtime's fun. I don't like to play in it, but from a fan standpoint, it's always fun. It's just, it's like coming down to the last shot in basketball or last play in football. It's like, what's going to happen, and to see that goal you see the excitement from the guys in that goal, and when Ben Durant gave it over to Quinn and was able to settle it down, and like the bench, the guys couldn't wait to get off. Like, that was a pretty cool experience. I thought that was probably the most fun experience this year of seeing them, how excited they were.
What do you like from, I guess, your penalty kill? I mean, gave up one goal all weekend, and that was kind of in transition. But there are some in the man down situation. You talked about bending, not breaking.
Yep.
What have you liked from that unit, especially this weekend, but throughout the year?
Yeah, I thought the refereeing was great on the weekend. I thought they did a good job letting players be players this time of year and not. They had to call the calls they had to make, right? And that's right. Like, I think they had more power plays than us, and yeah, we deserve the penalties we got, but when we did have them, I thought outside of that first one, they had some really good looks. Like I said, Curtis made a really good adjustment on that for us. Our guys are sacrificing the body, some big block shots for us. Obviously, your best penalty killer has to be your goalie, and Christian made a couple huge saves there for us, but again, what you don't want to do is give them too many power plays. Like I said, that's why I thought like the game to me was a typical playoff series, how it should be officiated and played. Is let the players dictate the outcome. And so we had an opportunity. We scored one power play goal on Saturday, which was a good big one there by Ethan Scardina. There, buries it. And we had one late in the game. I forgot where we put out some other guys in that, and I think we only had one power play on Friday. Yeah, just one. So I thought we had 3 power plays all weekend, right? And you go 1 for 3, and on our third one we put out lines, that late in the game. So really, at the end of the day, our power play goes 1 for 2. Our penalty kill does a great job, and that's probably part of the reason why we had our success this weekend.
Stover and net, I mean, just outstanding last week. The defense, you mentioned all the block shots like last week that you guys had, and how you guys really improved with that. Is the defense, is better defensive play something that you just really emphasize with the team from day one? And also too, I was thinking about just how well you guys play in late in games the last few. Is that like a lot of conditioning or
Yeah.
like anything, like how does that all play into it too?
Well, definitely. My emphasis with our guys, I've never had a meeting with a player who has never scored goals. Like, it's all your play without the puck is important to me. And if you can defend and play without the puck, you have a chance to play in my lineup. It's clear and simple to me because that's something we control. We control our work ethic, our compete, our sticks, our body position, our puck management. That's not a skill set, from it. The goal that Ben Durant, gave a nice sauce pass over top to Quinn, that's a skill set. Like that's them working on it. Repetitions, off it, but I might not ever be able to make that play, but I do expect our guys to play a certain way without the puck, and it's pretty clear cut line with me. Like we're going to play hard, we're going to play heavy, we're going to have our reloads, we're going to have numbers in the picture, we're never going to have 2 outside the dot. Like there's a lot of emphasis on that, and the other part is you got to play with pace, so when you talk about our team not looking like we get tired in the third is playing with pace. You have to be in good shape. You got to be conditioned well. You got to manage pucks smartly. Otherwise, you're going to keep tracking. So we want them to go 200 feet, but you got to play with predictability amongst yourself to play with pace. And if I play with predictability, that means the rest of my teammates know where they need to go and what they need to do, off it. So, yeah, it's something we really strive. We want to be known as, like, to me, Bowling Green hockey needs to have that identity. So when you're playing Bowling Green, what are other teams saying? I always say, like, they're going to be relentless. They're going to be hard. You got to be ready to battle for 60 minutes. If they don't say that about our club, then I'm not doing my job. You know, that's how I look at it.
Any questions on teams?
Yeah, how you doing, Coach?
Good.
Single game elimination quite often boils down to special teams. What kind of emphasis have you put in meetings and on the ice this week about penalty kill, power play, stuff like that?
Yeah, we get into it a little bit more tomorrow, to be honest. But we've had a few talks. Obviously, clears are really important on the kill. You see how many times, you know, as a coach, you sit there and you see you get the rebound or loose puck recovery, and you put it right to their D, right? And everybody's like, oh. You know, from a guy who runs the power play, you're thinking, perfect. You get a second chance, let's bury it, right? So penalty kill or clears are going to have to be good. We're going to have to definitely, you know, again, we got to defend from the inside out. We got to know our triggers. And offensively on the power play, we got to be more, to me, a shooter's mindset. We got to put more pucks. I shouldn't even say shooter's mindset. I should say a goal scorer's mindset. So you're looking for sometimes second and third opportunities on a power play. Not everyone can you expect a up, over, seam, backdoor tap in. You know, so a lot of times you got to muck them out, and then you got to be really good on your loose puck recoveries, 5-on-4. Otherwise, you're going to keep breaking it out, and if you keep breaking it out more than once on a power play, if you do it twice, you're probably getting tired, and you're out of sync, and then frustration leads in. So we got to be really good on our loose puck recoveries on the power play.
Okay, and final one from me is, again, single game elimination. How do you make sure, as a coaching staff, you have all your players ready to start on time on Saturday?
Yeah. Probably a lot of that will come from our discussions over the next few days. As you start to, you know, as we leave tomorrow to make our way out, you know, you start having your team meals. And I think when you get to this, it's reminders, but this here's a smart club. They get it. They know what's at stake, you know. And like I said, I think the biggest part for me is we want to have a couple real good practice. We're short, sharp, feel good, get off, you know. And then from there, like, let's just drop the puck and go. And as I said to them today, you can't be a light switch. You know, you can't turn it on and off. You know, we're not a team that can just turn it on and off. There's not a lot of teams out there, and if you keep doing that, even in practice, sooner or later the bulb goes dim and you lose. You know, so like for me, we got to make sure the light switch stays on right now, and it can shut off after the game. You know, on Saturday and have plenty of time to regroup and get back at it. But we're big believers of making sure that we empty the tank. You know, we play to a certain brand and identity, and that it's no different when we have meetings right now. Are you in the meeting or are you at the meeting? If you're at the meeting, you're just kind of sitting there. You know, if you're in the meeting, you're tentatively nodding your head, you're listening, you're engaging, you're making eye contact. There's a difference to that for me. So we need guys to be in the meeting this week and be ready to go. Not grip it, you know, but again, there is another sense of level of importance in these single game layouts that we're going to face. So yeah, it should be fun. I'm excited.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
and it sure
Well,
made
best of luck.
Yeah, it sure made my Sunday. You know, the alternative when I was sitting with my wife talking was, you know, about 4 o'clock. I was thinking I'd be an hour out from a game right now. It was a lot nicer sitting there with the sun out, grilling some steaks. And if we had to play, I was happy to play if we needed to. But it was the alternative of what I got to do. Sunday was good. But we don't take it for granted. We know we got a good opponent. We're gonna have our guys ready. They're gonna have their guys ready, and it's gonna be a really good hockey game.